This is the new kids ride kayak. I say kids because that's primarily the market that we were going for with this boat, although we do have an outfitting system that works very, very well for smaller adults, particularly smaller women, sort of, 5 to 130, 135 pound range. But primarily the ride is targeted at kids who have evolved out of the mini monkey, either in size or in paddling skill set. The mini monkey is a very forgiving, very easy boat. It's targeted towards kids who are probably in the 5 to 7 year age range. And it's targeted to people who have perhaps progressed from the mini me. Perhaps they started out in the mini monkey, but its goal was forgiving. The ride, the goal of this boat is to still be forgiving, but to take their paddling to a new level of enjoyment of fun. It's more focused on surfing and playing and skills progression for those kids who are now saying, hey, I'm already comfortable in the river, I'm already running class 2, and now I want to surf some waves, I want to start maybe trying to do some spins, I want to start maybe trying to do some stern squirts, but they want a very, very forgiving boat, they want a comfortable platform, they want something that's going to let them get away with murder, but also encourage a really good skill set progression. It's called the Ride because it's a cousin of the glide. It is not a glide, it's a cousin of the glide. And one of the reasons why I say that is if you had to blow this up proportionally to the size of the glide, this boat would be shorter for its width than the glide. It would have more bow volume up here than the glide does, and a little bit more volume mid-deck back here than the glide. And this is all to make the boat more forgiving, more predictable. The bigger bow up here is to have a drier ride, is to make it possible for the kids to be running down class 2, 3 plus rivers without getting a bunch of water loading up on the deck. You don't want them to have to worry about doing any kind of little things to get the nose up on this boat. At the same time, this edge here is raised so that it's forgiving. It's a very flared sidewall, so any water hitting the side of the boat is going to want to go under the boat, not on the boat. But it is flat enough back here to where they can start to learn to do squirt turns and pivot turns. We've got a couple of kids that are sort of 8, 9-year-old, and they're getting these things now, 45, 50 degree squirt turns on nice eddy lines. The Cockpit is a slalom boat cockpit, so it's a standard slalom skirt that will fit on this, or we have the Ride skirt, which is not quite auto popping, but it's almost auto popping. It's adjustable tension, so you can adjust it to make it tighter or looser according to your kid's skill set. If you look at the whole of this boat, it does have the speed louver in the back of the boat so that we can reduce the planing surface rocker when you're paddling, when you're catching waves on the fly. But then it's got the tip rocker, so if you ever get into a back surf, it's more forgiving. And the rail has a constant curve, so it'll carve nicely. It's got a very flared sidewall all the way through the boat, through the center of the boat, but particularly in both ends of the boat. So it'll be very loose and easy to deal with when you're paddling down a river. A nice wide planing surface and a really raised edge over here that releases well, but is also very forgiving. Water hitting this will hit the sidewall, it wants to tuck under the boat. It's not sketchy, it doesn't want to make kids flip over. The outfitting of this boat, it's a derivative of the power seat for adults, but it's a kid-size version of it. This is the kids outfitting, it's the less expensive outfitting of the boat, but it has a back band, and the reason for the back band is, like adults, they don't mind having the foam back of the boat, they don't have to mind carrying or looking after their own outfitting in their boats, but as a parent, you want it to be simple, you want it to be easy. You don't want to have to deal with foam getting ripped off when the kids are sliding in and out of the boat in a funny way. So we do have a simple back band in the boat that adjusts on a cam strap, nice and secure, and the seat itself gives kids a lot of control. We also have another version of the outfitting of the boat, which is essentially our super comfy outfitting. It's the same thing that we saw in the Glide and the Disco, that allows for an adult to paddle the boat as well. Obviously a small adult, but allows for an adult or a teenager to paddle the boat as well. The boat comes in 2 constructions, HDPE, which is a high density polyethylene, linear polyethylene, with this seat in it, which is a cheaper version of the boat. The plastic itself is not quite as stiff, not quite as strong. It's perfectly good for what most kids are going to put into a boat as far as abuse is concerned. And it just allows us to get the boat to market to a slightly cheaper price. That is obviously something that parents do look for. But then we do have the Hilux 14 version of the boat as well, which is a stiffer, stronger plastic that allows for an adult to paddle the boat and to be more aggressive with the boat and not have to worry about anything going wrong with the plastic itself. This is the Ride kayak. If you have any questions about this, jump onto soulwaterman.com and you can have a look at it over there and send us a message.